Hello, my name is Douglas Tuttle. I was born and raised here on the old Tuttle farm, which is now part of the county. The county has turned it into a landfill, and over the years things have happened here that I'm pretty concerned about, that I would like to share with you today. Some of my thoughts, some of my concerns, and maybe there's something we can do about it. And see that line of trees right there? Those are all shagbark hickory. That whole thing there is full of shagbark hickory. And a lot of them are dying now. I don't know if this caused from the gas from the landfill or not, but you can tell a lot of them are getting old and they're dying, and they're not regrowing. But they're all, see, the ones that got the little orange leaves on them, and there's a bunch more in there. I'll show you some later. But they're all shagbark hickories. This here used to be full. It used to be a pasture. They dug it down probably. Well, you can see where this is here, how high it is here, and how high it is. That's how high it used to be. And they took all the soil out of here and just left it. This is the fresh water stream. This part of it has brook trout in it, I know, because my sisters fished it and got it. Well, we're going to take you down to where the big fishers. I'm sure from that point north, there won't be any native brook trout. And this used to be full of native brook trout, which again is hard to find, native brook trout. And I think that once we see this big fissure, you'll notice that there's a huge runoff coming off of the landfill. It's going into the stream and washing down below. And I'll bet all the tea in China there is no brook trout from that point south. At one time, the Tuttle property here was the favorite place for Dick Brewer, a local historian, to come and dig up Indian artifacts here on our farm. Just over the hill here, there's a huge rise, and it levels off. And every year we would plow the property, get it disc up. You could see in the ground the blackened earth where they had their large campfires. And as kids, we'd dig in it. We'd find arrowheads, tomahawk heads, pieces of pottery, and all kinds of stuff. And Dick Brewer got a lot of his things for his Longhouse Museum that used to be down in Wampsville. He got that from up here on the Tuttle farm. It is thought that there's an Indian burial ground around here. Although we looked for it, we can never find it. But probably for sure now, with the county digging everything up, they may have just dug it up and used it for fill to put on top of the landfill. There's no way of knowing if that's been done or not, but no way of knowing if there even was an Indian burial ground. But that's the rumor that we have always thought, that there was an Indian burial ground, because there's evidence of a huge tribe being here and have stayed here for a long time, as Dick Brewer used to tell my dad. A lot of the underbrush has died over the years too. We used to come here and we had to fight through the berry bushes and all the small trees that used to be growing here, but for some reason over the last 20 years, it seems like some of the underbrush has disappeared, and I don't know what that cause is, if there's any cause to it that there is, but I have noticed that there's less underbrush here. Okay, yeah, they've installed a drain pipe over there just west of the big Mount Trashmore there, and the drain pipe pumps water as it comes off of Mount Trashmore, focusing it to come down this way. It hits this little ravine here and actually hits it there, and it winds its way down through here to where it's created a big fissure. We'll go down and see what the fissure's like here in a minute. But our cows used to come up from the barn and used to be able to walk up this and come into the pasture here to graze. This was an open kind of a meadow over here where they used to eat after we let them out of the barn from milking. But you'll see that nothing could come up through this fissure anymore. And this runoff has only happened here in the last, I would say, probably 5 or 6 years that this fissure has really opened up. And it's since they built this other addition to the other Mount Trashmore here. They added their third cell or something like that. If you look up here, you can see where the erosion starts. This was always flat in here. You can see it starts to burrow its way down through here. Now, it takes a pretty good stream to wash away like that. By the time it gets down here, the stream is going pretty fast, and you can see this. You could always walk straight across here. This is fairly recent here. How deep this is now, let me step down in it so you can see. Deep, and then it really gets going when it hits here. This was all sloped up. This was never cavernous. until about the last 5 years. Maybe I'm all worried about that. I'd like to know if they test the water, how often they test it, and where they test it. Definitely not testing it. As you see up there on that side hill, that was all woods, came all the way down, and it was on a pretty steep bank, and they're doing nothing but cutting back into that. This is the part where they've taken the topsoil off and dug down to get the clay to cover back on the other side. And you can see it's left a big hole here where now there's a pond, but you can see right here where we're standing is the height of where the field was. And it did slope down a little bit. You can see around the edges how high it was there by where the trees are, and that's how much the topsoil they took off. And here you can see the maple trees on the Timmerman side of the Tuttle Road, and those, see how they're spaced out. I mean, some of the trees are missing, but they're pretty well spaced out. They had the same type of trees that came up on this side of Tuttle Road all the way up through, but the town for some reason decided to take those out from all the way down. It went all the way up to Tuttle Road, up to the Gulf Road there, and they took them down, and the next thing I know, they're being sawed up and used. By them taking the topsoil off and just leaving clay base up there, the water doesn't sink in, it runs down and finds the path of least resistance and ends up running back this way, coming down. And this has never been done. All right, behind me you can see where my sister has a view over to the county across the valley there. I think it would be a nice gesture for the county if they would put a line of pine trees along that so we don't have to see all the workings going on. We see trucks all the time. We see the lights from the facility all night long that are on over there, and they shine through here. But it is a good gesture if the county could plant a line of pine trees like they have over on Bouyer Road around those homes over there to shelter the people from having to look at the dump. To do that here would be a nice gesture for county to do that for my sister. In closing, I'd like to say that I would hope that the county would be responsible, looking out for their residents of the county that are close here by the county dump. Be responsible to discuss what they're going to do with them. Do with it first. I understand it is their property; they can do with it as they feel. But it'd be nice to let the residents know what's going on before it actually happens, and that they leave the countryside a little bit better than what it was instead of worse than what it was, and then leaving everything open with no soil and a complete eyesore. For example, when they sell those pieces of property, the ARE, they should definitely have a barrier along Tuttle Road where the Tuttle Road for the sugar maple trees used to be, so that we don't have to look at all that stuff. A big industrial park along Tuttle Road would be an eyesore. Nobody wants to see that. If it could be sheltered, I have a barrier along the road so we don't have to look at it. I don't want to see tractor trailers in there. I don't want to see their pallets. I don't want to see the people buzzing around with loading the loading machines and tractors and stuff floating around. It just would be a bad thing for the town of Lincoln as well as for the residents of Madison County to have to look at that. One giant industrial park along that good portion of a full mile of Tuttle Road would be just a shame that we would have to be subjected to even seeing that.